Hey everybody, HarlequinCoHO here, and I've been getting a bunch of requests lately for just sort of lower level, more educational kind of games where we can explore you know, what players can do to become better players and what players can do to improve upon their game and that sort of thing. So with that in mind, many of you may know that I'm a huge Day 9 fan. I thought I would go ahead and just do a Newbie Tuesday here, sort of as a tribute to Day 9, because he really influenced me as I got into esports and that sort of thing. Now, it happens to be Tuesday when I'm recording this, so for on-demand viewers, sorry, but let's go ahead and take a look at this game here. So here we have a submission from DeathsMotto, and it's going to be DeathsMotto, as I believe he was level 10 at the time, so he's Stormtroopers and Heavy Armor Support Blitzkrieg player, against his opponent, and I have trouble with his name, LewTom85A, and he is going to be an airborne player, and you can see that he has about 3 abilities. He's got Air Reconnaissance, Bombing Run, and Airdropped AT support. Now, right off the bat, DeathsMotto, you'll see he went ahead and queued up he queued up Field Pioneers and regular Pioneers, and then only after all that was done, moved out his Pioneers to build his building. So I think, you know, just as in the spirit of criticism, yes, definitely go ahead and get one guy queued up, but then go and build right off the bat and try not to waste this build time as much as possible. So that's, you know, little tiny criticism there, but in general, that's going to be kind of the theme of this game. We're going to look at both of these players, and you know, I honestly really enjoyed this replay, and I've said this before, I don't think there are any bad replays. Even replays that are poorly played or mistakes were made, there's lots of things we can learn from these kind of games just by kind of looking at them and explicitly pointing them out and acknowledging them, like right off the bat. So these engineers left the base, capped the fuel point, great idea, fuel is really good, and then returned all the way to the base, presumably to go and get this munitions point out here. So not a very effective thing. One thing that works really well, take your engineers, right-click them on this point right off the bat, hold down Shift, and then right-click them here, and then right-click them here, and then right-click them here. And then later on, if you change your mind and don't think that that's a good idea, you can alter that rally point. But that'll rally them everywhere you go. And then once these guys finish, go ahead and send them down here maybe. You know, I kind of understand what he's saying. He's saying, I need fuel, but for the most part, I'm going to focus on the middle part of the map. Okay, we'll take a look at that. So he's going to go ahead, and by that I mean LewTom is going to go ahead and just start building a machine gunner with a second machine gunner queued up. Really committing himself to machine guns right now. And this is when it becomes tricky to make calls on this sort of stuff. Let me go ahead and swap back to DeathsMotto. But, you know, there's always a trouble, and I had this a lot when I was, you know, playing, you know, riding my way through the ladder in any game really, but just kind of, you bump into a player, and if you think too much about it, you'll overthink it, and you'll say, okay, could he be the most clever, avant-garde, you know, maverick player on Earth, or is he just a really bad player? Sometimes it's hard to tell what the decision-making process is. For the most part, though, we'll see that DeathsMotto is, you know, he starts off very well, and he seems to more or less have his game together, and, you know, just makes, you know, several little small errors here and there that I would just disagree with. Of course, it's kind of, I always think it's unfair because here I am seeing the whole battlefield, but for the most part, I think these are all pretty, you know, pretty fair criticisms and that sort of thing. So right off the bat, Katzenmeyer's Vos Grenadiers level 4. You can see he already spent some time leveling these heroes. Katzenmeyer's can throw grenades amongst lots of other things. Very useful hero to have. That's pretty much its distinguishing factor though. But by the end, by level 5, it can pretty much do everything normal Grenadiers can do. A little healthier and has grenades. Meanwhile, he's just going to go ahead and cap, and he's capping all around the side of the map, and you'll see that he'll be able to explore all the way up here as a result. Meanwhile, we'll see second MG team all the way out for LewTom, and let's take a look back at his base, and I really hope I'm seeing something else coming out of here, but no, it is a third MG team. So right away, we kind of have to like make the call. Is this a terrible player, or is this an avant-garde amazing player? So as it is appearing on Newbie Tuesday, perhaps you've already, you know, made that call for me, but you know, he's going ahead, he's capping down here and that sort of thing, but really, if you're going to go MG first, get a Sniper second and pair the two of them together, because Sniper MG is brutally awesome. That's a great combo, and there's lots of things you can do with it, and they complement each other very well. Pretty much anything that counters one machine gun will counter 2 machine guns. The only added benefit here is that, you know, this is a really, really fortified position, but it's fortifying nothing. The strategic error that I see here is that these are two really good buildings to have two machine guns in if you're the German player in this situation and you want to prevent your enemy from coming out of here. Guarding this area does you no good because you've already lost the center. So you're sort of guarding territory that your opponent doesn't want to capture anyways, or at least doesn't have to capture in order to win. And that's going to be kind of the theme of this game for the most part, is keeping an eye on what win conditions actually are. What will win you the game? Again, machine gunner coming down here to guard this point from nobody. I kind of like this. I suspect maybe he saw people do this to him and he liked it, and it's not that bad. It'll keep people out. It certainly won't keep engineers out, and it's really a lot less effective if it's the only thing you have, especially if right next door there's another method of getting across into your territory that you have not blocked off at all. Now, that being said, there's all sorts of clever things you could do with this. You could build a bunker here, for instance, that had a little bit of line of sight going up this way, the rest of the line of sight going that way, so that you force people to go the long way around only to then get suppressed by your bunker, but really none of that today. So you'll see DeathsMotto does have his Volksgrenadiers here in the center, and he does have his HMG team sitting out here in the church. So he, on the other hand, has a nice little defensive point. He's not being aggressive or anything. I'd kind of would like to see him, charge this machine gun and throw some grenades or that sort of thing. But no need to. This is sufficient. He has capped 2 victory points and has rather good control of them. And there's really no reason for him to do anything at this point. But again, a little bit more aggression is always a good thing. In fact, I like to think about these battles sort of as a negotiation. When they teach you, in business, when you're negotiating with somebody, if you have 10 demands, you want to know secretly that 2 of those demands you don't care at all about, and you want to be willing to give them up just for the sake of giving something up. You want to hold on and tightly and let go lightly. And so I always think that if you have an overwhelming advantage, extend further than you want, and then know in your head which places you're willing to give up and which places you aren't. Obviously, center of the map, not willing to give that up. That's very important. You seriously want that. Points like this, it's kind of a pain to defend. It's got all these annoying hedges and stuff like that. Let's take it and let him waste time recapping it later. Let's take this and let him waste time recapping it. Let's take this, but of course it's posted, so you'd have to blow it up. But these are great things that they're too far away for you to really maintain control of anyways, so just take them and force somebody else to retake them. We'll see that this sniper is doing a decent job here. He's just kind of sneaking around getting kills. He's kind of going the wrong way. In fact, that may have even been an accidental kill. I have no idea if he just kind of shot that and is now following the rest of his orders to go someplace else. But clearly one sniper will kill this entire building if you just let him do it on his own. So maybe he forgot about that. You'll see that the engineers down here in the south were able to find their other way across. I honestly think that the other guy may have just clicked, LewTom may have just clicked this waypoint and they worked it out for themselves, and he might have never even seen this. Meanwhile, here's the same sort of cap we were talking about. A little bit of preemptive sandbagging going on here, G-bagging as I like to call it, in honor of my buddy G. But really not a lot going on here. We'll see that maybe the sniper is going to take some more shots, but so I approve of this sort of stuff. He knows that he can cap this stuff and then just get ready to lose it. In fact, I don't even care about this. He doesn't even have to do that to win my heart. But down here, he does need to react to that. He needs to see that coming, and really I think that it was just a mistake in putting that here. And frankly, if you're not too familiar with this map, this does not look like it's traversable terrain. So looks like this sniper getting a second kill now, so maybe we'll see this. Oh, Luzi laying down. Is he going to do it? I don't know. Maybe we'll see the sniper take out the machine gun. But really, you should have ears like a hawk. Does that make any sense? No, that doesn't make any sense at all. But hey, sometimes that's the way the cookie bounces when you're mixing your metaphors, I suppose. But you should always have very attentive ears and be listening for sniper shots. And as soon as you see them, start clicking around at your front units and say, oh, only 2 guys left. Back him out of there, because he's going to be dead soon unless the sniper kind of goes the wrong way. So a little bit of mismanagement there. I do like these flamethrower engineers kind of looking for trouble out here in the backfields. These are field pioneers, by the way. I mentioned them before. They're only level 1, so they're not going to do much. But at around level 3-ish, I think they can lay disabling traps and some other interesting stuff. So now we start seeing what LewTom is up to. So whenever you see somebody really being defensive and just not even trying, oh, he got a 3rd kill there, so it looks like that final MG team went down. He's really being overly defensive and not even trying to take anything. You just think gimmick. Just what is he up to? And the easiest thing would be he's rushing for an armored Greyhound. And that can be really problematic because the armored Greyhound can get in here and start putting mines in front of your buildings and, all this annoying stuff. But we don't really see that yet. He's going to fully upgrade this armored Greyhound, given a machine gun and skirts and all that. There's a little bit of skirmishing going on down here, and unable to retreat because he just probably wasn't looking. He was probably busy in his base. Looks like these engineers were just completely gunned down by these grenadiers who are now armed with a Panzerschreck. So we'll see. These engineers are kind of playing chess a little poorly here. You know, if you look at the chess map of what they're taking, he took this, which does deny fuel, but it doesn't. It's not connected to his territory, and you know, that sort of thing. So, so we'll take a look. What's the plan here? Okay, the plan is clearly armored cars. Definitely armored cars here. But there's really no other units out here. We have one engineer squad now and 2 MG teams. I can even show you right now. 2 MG teams, 1 engineer squad, and looks like 2 Greyhounds who are really eating up all the munitions he has thus far saved in order to get that, which is fine. You know, M8 rushing, M8 Greyhound is what the name of the vehicle is, can be very effective if you use it right, but something tells me he heard that or read it somewhere or saw it somewhere and is doing it, but it doesn't quite get the finesse behind it. So, as you can see, DeathsMotto has a nice firm control of the map, and now we're going to have to see how well he reacts. So, let's take a look at these commander abilities first off. Air Reconnaissance, everyone should always get that. Fantastic air ability. Just wonderful ability. Bombing Run and airdropped AT support. Kind of specific things, and they both counter tanks, sort of. They both counter armor, kind of. So not quite sure why you'd get both of them. Bombing Run in the right hands if you have a good feel for the finesse of it. Great ability. I usually would prefer Strafing Run if I only had, you know, 2 or 3 abilities to choose from. And AT